Rhythm shooting just got better in NBA 2K26, allowing me to hit ridiculous shots like this over Victor Wembanyama and finish through contact. This video will go through all the ways that rhythm shooting improved in NBA 2K26, giving you all the essential and secret tips for rhythm shooting that will make you into an elite shooter in the game. If these shots don't prove to you that rhythm shooting is absolutely insane, I don't know what will, because my god. This just might be the tool that you need in order to take your game to the next level, and I'm breaking down every secret. So why bother with rhythm shooting? So let's first break down the different shooting methods in the game. First, you can hold the shot button and wait for your shot meter to fill up to that green portion of the bar. Release the shot button as you fill up the bar to the green area, and then you will make an excellently timed release shot. So why bother with something as complicated as rhythm shooting? Pull down on the right stick to initiate a jump shot. Now, as you reach the set point, or where your player's elbow is at a 90-degree angle, that's generally when you want to start pushing up on the right stick, fully extending the right stick as your player is about to release the shot, and then just flicking the right stick out as your player flicks his wrist. So here, just take a look at the upper left hand cam. As you can see, I pulled down on the right stick and push up in a 2-motion stick input. So once again, I generally pull the right stick down, and I'm about to push up as I reach the set point of my jump shot. As you can see right here, elbow at a 90-degree angle is when I start pushing up on the right stick, fully extending the right stick at that upward motion as I am about to release that shot, and then just letting go of the right stick to flick as I flick my wrist as a shooter. One big difference between button shooting and rhythm shooting is that you have different shot timing visual cues when you are button shooting. So you got 4 different timing cues ranging from very early to very late release. Using the shot button, this is what it looks like. As you can see, different points of the jumper have different optimal points of release based on your shot timing visual cue. But with rhythm shooting, your shot timing visual cue doesn't matter. The point in which you push up on the right stick is basically at the set point regardless of which visual cue setting you choose. In any case, the timing won't matter. I'm just here to show you the excellent timing releases along with the excellent tempo release. In NBA 2K26, only tempo matters. That is matching the right stick input that will allow you to release the right stick as your shooter flicks his wrist. Tempo is timing. Timing determines the speed of your shot release, and it's tempo that matters. As you can see right here, my shot timing is telling me it's slightly early. That controls a different thing. Your timing in 2K26 rhythm shooting just determines the quickness in which you release your shot. So take a look at these 2 clips right here. A slightly early release on the left gives you a quicker release, as you can see right here, and a late release leads to a slower release in comparison. This amount of control gives you a new tool to beat your defenders. Again, I am timing my releases against someone like Wemby who's closing out really quickly with a slightly early, allowing me to use a quick release jump shot to beat contesting defenders. And this is such a big deal against very tall, lanky, and athletic guys who could block that shot. Look at how quickly Amen Thompson closes out on me right here. If I did not use a slightly early timing release to get a quick release jumper, this might have gotten blocked or heavily contested. Instead, this was an open shot, and once again, you only have to time the tempo of your release, giving you way more control over your shot motion than any 2K before. So here it is again, this time against Kevin Durant, who's a very athletic and long. Using that quick release, I'm able to shoot through that even though I was contested. But also the other benefit of rhythm shooting is that it gives you a more obvious visual cue. And here I'm using Jimmy Butler and different players just to show you how easy it is. So with 2K26, I generally have different visual cues and not just my shot release or watching my players' hand movements. With Jimmy Butler in this case, I am timing my full extension of the right stick with Jimmy Butler's fully vertical body. So I'm not just watching his elbow, I'm not just watching his wrist, I am watching for when Jimmy Butler's body is fully extended in a straight position, giving me an easy visual cue to time the right stick up motion. So for my career users, this might not necessarily be an important thing, but for 5v5 users with different types of shot timings and different animations for your different players, this is actually a big deal. As you can see, I'm shooting easily with Jimmy Butler, who has a very funky release just by zoning in on his visual cue wherein his body is fully extended. This same visual cue applies to someone like Draymond Green. As you can see, I switched instantaneously, not giving me time to warm up. Again, waiting for Draymond Green's body to be fully extended vertically. And that is when I tie my right stick up, fully extended, to be released when he flicks his wrist. As you can see right here, Draymond's body fully extended in a vertical position. My right stick is fully extended at the same time. This gives you an idea of what to shoot for when timing your right stick inputs. As you can see, once again, going from Jimmy Butler to Draymond Green, not the easiest switch in the world, but zoning in once again on that shot timing, that shot visual cue, based on Draymond Green's body position and not necessarily his elbow or his hands, gives me an easy target to time my right stick inputs. Here's another one of these crazy shots from a Warriors team member. Brandon Podziemski has one of the most unorthodox shots in the game. It's a set shot with, very quick timing from his jump to his release. So I'm not looking at the straightening of his body because it's generally pretty straight. What I'm actually looking at for Brandon Podziemski is his knees. Once his knees fully extend, that's when I tie my right stick up input. What rhythm shooting has allowed me to do is zone in on certain visual cues that give me a natural feel for the tempo of the right stick motion, making rhythm shooting a much more easy prospect compared to button shooting in my opinion. So just to show you how easy it is, once again, I just selected a random team. I didn't want the Lakers because I can shoot well with those different players. So randomly selected Philadelphia right here. So first we're shooting with Embiid. Again, not very hard. He's a very good player with a good mid-range rating. But the challenge is moving from one player to another. So I move from Embiid to Maxey. First time I'm using Maxey in 2K26. And as you can see, I'm able to easily hit these shots even though it's just moving from one different release to another. Mind you, this is once again on Hall of Fame difficulty, and even though this is just learned 2K, it's still very difficult to go from different types of tempos from different releases of different players. But the method works. Just know what visual cues to zone in on, whether that's the hand movement, which personally I don't like really looking at unless I'm using my career player that I'm very used to his shot release. But for different players, what gives me a more obvious visual cue is the movement of their body. That gives me certain targets to hit when I'm using my right stick inputs. So here's also another player I've only used for the first time. Quentin Grimes surprised me with the shot, so I made the adjustment just trying to learn his shot. And as you can see, I'm making these greens really easily. The two big benefits of rhythm shooting is once again offering you more control than ever before, allowing you to speed up or slow down your shot depending on what the situation calls for. The other is that once again, rhythm shooting gives you a very obvious visual cue relative to your traditional shot button input visual cues that allows you to just focus on the animation that you're using and shoot through all sorts of wild jumpers. And when I say wild, I mean wild. It's ridiculous what you can do with rhythm shooting. I do recommend that you give it a try even though maybe you're a traditionalist using the button. It was elite in 2K25, it's great in 2K26, and gives you way more options than ever before. So give the video a thumbs up if you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.